So I do listening, and listening is when you need someone to listen to you. You have something that is burdening you and you want to get it off your chest, or you have something in your mind that you want to vocalize. You are stuck creatively and you want to talk about your work, so you get unstuck. So I'm always there to listen. I enjoy listening to people's stories, and when you get things off your chest, you probably will feel better just from the conversation. So listening is without judgment, and I don't give advices, so just think loudly with you. I've been doing the listening for about 6 years. I will leave down below in the comment and the description a link to the listening if you want to learn more. But the story that happened to me recently is very weird, and that's why I would like to share it here. It has been now a year almost when I do listening on another platform. I will not mention what is the name of it, but I just noticed that there are people who are sharing very weird stories. Before, I used to have people who, for example, they have an exam tomorrow and they are worried, or they are going through a breakup, or someone who is stuck creatively and want to share his work and talk about it. But the last year I started getting very weird stories. For example, one of the stories was from India. An Indian woman contacted me and she was like, I want to talk about my problem. My husband just died and my family boycott me. They don't want to have anything to do with me, which was weird, but I thought, okay, maybe that's something in India, because I heard that long time ago they used to burn the widow with her husband. And then she started telling me about her son. She has only one son, and her son started after the death of the father to, and she didn't know what to do. So I was trying to comfort her and try to see if there are any possibilities in India for example, an association to report this for domestic violence or something like that. But she wasn't interested in any solution. She just cared about telling me about what happens, and in very, very detailed way that was not usual and not normal. And then as I started talking to her more and more, I discovered actually that it's not a woman in the first place, and it's a guy from India, and he's just fantasizing this. I reported him, and I thought, okay, that's one time thing and it's finished. But then over the past year I had about, I don't know, like tens, and I think there are hundreds of them on that platform, where, for example, I can listen to one person who's really serious. He needs someone to listen to him, and I have maybe 6 who just want to fantasize about similar things. So I started by reporting them to the platform and how they are misusing the platform. But then it didn't finish, it didn't end. And I thought, okay, maybe I can take another approach. Maybe I can start listening to them and see what is their problem and why they are doing what they are doing. So I started talking to them, and I discovered that many of them are between 20 to 30 years old. They are mainly from India and Nepal. I tried to give them suggestions, for example, like, why don't you get out of your room and try to meet new people and discover new cultures and things like that. But then immediately they just block me whenever whenever they discover that I discovered them. They just block me. And I wouldn't care still until, I live in Europe, I live in Croatia, and Croatia is one of the safest and most peaceful countries in Europe, and Zagreb is a very safe city as well. And I used to have orders, delivery, and usually who delivered was a Croatian person, and it was okay, I had no issues. But then recently, the last year, Croatia started having workers from Far East, let's say, some of them also from similar countries. And I noticed that when I order a delivery and they bring it, they do what I call staring. Because, you know, I'm from Egypt, I'm from the Arabic world, and especially in Egypt, I know all kind of I already made a video, 2 videos actually, on my Arabic channel with English subtitle, where I categorized all kind of which I was exposed to, and one of them was this staring. The staring is when a guy is staring at a female in a way as if he's undressing her with his eyes. He stare at her in a very rude way and follow her even if she's moving, you know, with the same look, staring at her everywhere. And I had this before, and it's of course not a comfortable feeling, and someone is looking at you as if you are a prey, right? So the problem is now, when I started ordering delivery, I had someone from such cultures coming to deliver, and he stared at me. And maybe for any European, they will not notice anything weird, or they will think, oh, he's just looking, maybe. But because I come from a conservative country with similar problems, let's say, so I immediately, the look that the delivery guy looked at me triggered all the staring that I've been exposed to in my life before. And I started connecting the dots. Oh, those people who I talk to from such cultures, yeah, there is this thing that you are in a conservative society, and you are between 20-30 years old, so you are probably, it's too early for you to get married, or maybe you are not ready to get married financially. So what can you do? You are just being led by your desire, and you can't think of anything else. And you go to your room, you go online, and this is what you do. Or if you are working, you can stare at females, right? Or maybe more, I don't know, but this is what I noticed so far is the staring. And I was thinking, trying to find is there a solution even? Like, is there something that could be done? Could we convert conservative societies to liberal societies? No, you can't. I mean, you can't do this suddenly, and it will not help, it will not solve things. So what can be done? That's my question. So this is stories with a question mark, and this is the story I have, and this is the question I have. What can be done? Because it is really disappointing for me and frustrating. After I thought that I'm living in peace and staring and all kind of are just behind me, I see them can still be around me. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm Teresa Khalil, and I hope you have an answer for my question.